And we're live. Hello, friends. Thank you very much for joining. Just turning the brightness up. And I'm joined by Charlie and also Mum today, who are going to be practicing with us this evening. And there we go. Firstly, a little shout out to Annalise Reason, whose birthday it is today. And she's choosing to spend the next hour with us online. So that's great news. Happy birthday, Annalise. So we're going to do, that's half in, half out. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? How do we do this? There we go. Half in, half out isn't good. Commit, one way or the other. So we're going to do a nice, gentle, restorative, nicey, stretchy yoga for about 30 minutes. Just to smooth out all the creases of the weekend and the week, and just to open up the body for a lovely deep relaxation. And so we'll segue from the Shavasana, so the relaxation at the end, we'll go straight into Yoga Nidra. And Yoga Nidra, for those who haven't practiced before, it's like sleeping yoga. And the idea is you use your subconscious mind, you use your conscious mind to examine your subconscious mind. And how that really feels, it's a bit like going into the state between being awake and being asleep. When you're sort of drifting off to sleep and your mind starts making all those random connections, you get to about that state. So you really drop into quite a deep state of relaxation. They say 20 minutes of Yoga Nidra is like 2 hours of sleep. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but the whole point is you get a really deep rest, which is perfect for a Sunday evening. And the difference with meditation and Yoga Nidra, with meditation you're very much in your conscious awareness. So you're using your conscious mind to watch your thoughts, and you're very much in the driver's seat. And with Yoga Nidra, you're relaxing that grip. So you're very, it's a very passive exercise. So you're very much responding to the cues that I'll be feeding you to enter this very deep state of relaxation, or almost a state of hypnosis. But it's a bit like I'm in the driver's seat. So I'll be in your driver's seat. If that makes sense, but no one's driving anywhere, just to be absolutely clear. So no need to get in the car or anything like that. But there's no need to worry. It's if anything, it's easier than meditation because you're just absorbing what's going on, and it also doesn't matter if you do go to sleep. If you do go to sleep, it probably means you needed some sleep. So don't feel like you've ruined it for everybody if you fall asleep. It's the most important thing is it's a very deep state of rest. So take from it whatever serves you this evening. And the last thing is, because you do enter a very deep state of relaxation, it's better if you can avoid being disturbed. A bit like that feeling if someone like shakes you awake, it's quite uncomfortable, like being snatched from a dream. So if you can either tell your pets or housemates or just be somewhere where no one's going to burst in on you mid Yoga Nidra, then that is better, just because it's a bit unpleasant. It's a bit like being slapped awake. So yeah, but up to you. Maybe you like to be slapped awake. We're about to find out, aren't we? Brilliant. So, the last thing is I did put a note, but in case anybody didn't see it, just a few things that you could do with having. One is a blanket or something a bit cushier to lie on. Because usually in yoga we lie for 10 minutes max at the end, but when you're lying for 30 minutes, you do start to feel it on a hard floor. So if there's something a bit squishier to lie on, then that would be great. Equally, if there's something you want to put over your eyes, like an eye mask or just a scarf. And just for one of the yoga stretches we're going to be doing, it'll be like a sort of shoulder opener. So if you do have either a belt, a scarf, a belt or a scarf would do it, or the thing that goes around your yoga mat, just like a a strip of material. Not the end of the world if you don't have this. Even a jumper or a cardigan would work. And you might want a couple of books. Again, it's not the end of the world if you don't have these props to hand. But I think we will begin. So if everybody is ready, we're actually going to start standing today. We're going to start our yoga class now. If you want to press start on your playlist on Spotify, we'll have a little bit of music for the yoga, but not for the meditation. I'm just going to tilt this up so you can see the head. So the first one we're going to do is a shoulder opener. So I'm going to ask Charlie to demonstrate. So you're going to get a length of rope. You can have that one. This is what you need your strap for. And you're going to take it up and over the head and all the way up and over. So you want to do it when we start off, just about as wide as is comfortable. So you want to feel like a bit of a sort of decent shoulder stretch. So like you should feel a little bit of tightness across the chest here and across the shoulders. So not just so that you're able to like do it without even, it should feel a little bit effortful, but not so effortful that you're going to tweak something. So let's do 5 of those together. So as you inhale, you're going to take the rope back and up and over the head. And as you exhale, you're going to bring it back forward. Exhale, bring it forward. That was 1. Let's do another one. Inhale, up and over the head. And exhale, back and over. Inhale, up and over the head. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, up and over the head. Exhale, back. And now you're going to move your hands a little bit narrower together. So we're going to make it slightly harder. If you feel like you're already at your absolute max capacity, then continue as you are, but we're going to do 5 more. So I invite you to bring your hands a little bit closer together. Inhale, up and over the head. Exhale, back over. Inhale, up and over the head. Exhale, back. Inhale, up and over the head. Exhale, back. 2 more. Inhale, up and over the head. And exhale, back. 1 more. Inhale, up and over the head. And exhale, back. Lovely. Which is a nice sort of shoulder opener. Releases tension across the back of the shoulders and across the front of the chest. The next one we're going to do is actually a Tai Chi exercise. It's a kind of tapping one. So you're just going to swing really loosely and you're going to reach for your left shoulder with your right hand and swing all the way back. Then if you can see behind me, my other arm is just... So you're doing a nice big swing. The arms are really loose and floppy. We're just going to do 10 of these, just really shaking out any tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, lovely. Just getting a bit of energy moving through the top half of the body. So the next one we're going to do is like an extended ragdoll pose. So you're going to take a slight bend in the knees, your feet are hip distance apart, and then you're just going to roll yourself forward and you're going to hang over your legs. Now your hands might reach the floor, but if they don't, I would recommend, if you can, this is what the books could be for. So you could allow your hands to rest on some books or cushions, or depending on how far away your hands are from the floor, they might rest on a chair. But this is really a nice, this is a nice hamstring opener. So if it's comfortable for you to have slightly bent knees with your hands on the floor, then good. And to experience a stronger stretch down the backs of the legs, I would recommend gradually straightening out the backs of the legs, and if you can, resting your hands on something, because we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. So this is a yin exercise from yin yoga. And the idea with yin is you get in a position where you can feel the stretch. So if you're feeling like you actually aren't experiencing any sensation here at all, you might have very loose hamstrings or loose backs of the legs, then really imagine just extending your tailbone up and over. And if it's really comfortable and you feel really solid, you can even slide your palms underneath your feet. But bearing in mind, we are going to be here a little while, so choosing a position that is just comfortable for you to hold. And then we stay there. And it opens up the fascia, or the web of collagen, which is around the muscles, that takes a little bit longer to get into. We're not going to have music because it gets out of time with everybody else. Trying to keep the awareness inside the body if you can. So this is the challenge with yin, is not allowing your thoughts to be on what happened before this and what happened after this. We're trying to stay with the experience of the sensations happening in the backs of the legs, up into the lower back, coming up and over the tops of the shoulders. And just imagining any tension that you might be holding or any clutter that you might have accumulated, just dropping out the top of the head. Staying for 30 more seconds here in this deep forward fold. And if you'd like to go deeper, if you're currently resting your hands on something, you can allow them to fall free. If you want to experiment by taking the weight into your toes, feel free to do that too. Taking 5 more nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And when you're ready, you're going to allow your spine to unfurl ever so slowly, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, stacking disc on vertebrae, and allowing the head to be the last thing that comes up. Lovely. Really nice. And when you arrive at the top, we'll do a little side stretch. So you're going to lift up your left arm and you're going to reach for your right wrist. You can't really see my hands, but I think you can kind of guess what's going on here. And on an inhale, you're going to lift up. And as you exhale, you're going to stretch all the way over to the right-hand side. Take a breath here. And exhale back up. And grab hold of your right wrist. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale all the way over to the left side. Take an inhale. And exhale back up. And just allowing the hands to relax down to the sides. And now we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. So coming to all fours. Make sure you can still see what's going on. So making sure that your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. And on an inhale, you're going to allow the tailbone to lift, a slight dip in the lower back, and allowing the crown of the head to come up. Exhale, pushing into the hands, doming through the shoulders, rippling through the upper back and allowing the tailbone to sink. Inhale, lifting the tailbone, unfurling the spine, the head comes up. Exhale, dropping the head, doming the shoulders, and the tailbone sinks. Do 2 more rounds in your own time. So inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. 1 more, inhaling, unfurling the spine, the head lifts. And exhaling, doming the spine. And coming back to all fours. And on an inhale, leaving your legs as they are, you're going to lift up your right arm and take a good glance up at your fingertips. Inhale into the side of the chest, and then as you exhale, you're going to thread your right arm through and allow your right cheek to rest on the ground. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. And if you want to take this stretch deeper, yes, you can walk your left fingertips out in front of you. But the most important thing is that you're experiencing a nice big stretch down the right side of the body. Sending the breath all the way down in between the right ribs into the waist. And sending the breath all the way down into the hip bones, into the legs, into the feet. Take 1 more nice big inhale and another nice exhale. Then on your next inhale, you're going to reach all the way back up. Pressing into the left hand, reaching all the way back up into the right hand. And we're actually going to send the right fingertips all the way back up. And exhale, releasing the right hand down to the ground. And we'll do the other side. Inhale, lifting the left arm all the way up and open. And as you exhale, threading the left arm under, allowing the left cheek to rest on the ground. And then just steadying yourself with your right arm. If you feel good and stable here, you can walk your right fingertips out in front of you. So long as you're feeling a nice big stretch all the way down the left side of the body. Staying here for 5 nice big deep breaths. In through the nose. And out through the nose. Just seeing if there's any knots or any tightness. Just imagine sending the breath right into those areas. Take 1 more nice big inhale and exhale. Then on your next inhale, pushing yourself back up and extending the left fingertips all the way back up. And exhale, release. Lovely. The next one we're going to come into is a Sphinx pose. So you're going to extend your legs out behind you and bring yourself down onto your belly. Then you're going to make sure that your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And you're going to lift up the chest so that you want to try and make sure that your shoulders are down away from the ears. You're pressing into the forearms and your gaze is just forward so that you're not compressing the neck, but you are experiencing a nice big chest opener here. So the hip bone should be resting into the ground. The tops of the feet, so the bony bits of your feet, resting into the ground too. And you should feel a nice elongating sensation right from the tips of the toes all the way up through the central column of the spine into the roof of the mouth and the crown of the head. If this feels really strong for anybody, you're very welcome to take it down into a cobra, whereby you would just lower your chest down to the ground. But mostly, I think this should feel quite comfortable for everybody. hopefully, depending on your physiology, that is. But this should feel like it's a nice opener for the lower back and a nice chest opener. And we're going to stay here for just 3 more nice big deep breaths. And in fact, let's upgrade that to 5 more nice big deep breaths. Really consciously sending the breath into the lower back, in between the shoulder blades, across the collarbones, into the back of the neck, and into the top of the head. Take 1 more nice big deep inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly, mindfully lower yourself down onto your front, releasing the chest opener. Then on your next inhale, you're going to take your seat to your heels and push back into a child's pose. We'll make it quite an active child's pose. So really reaching your hands out in front of you and switching the fingertips on. And just start to engage the biceps. Feeling a nice long stretch down the sides of the body. Take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to tuck your toes and lift your hips up into downward facing dog. We're not going to be in downward facing dog for long, but you can just take a little pedal out of the legs. But here we want to make sure that our fingers are spread really wide. The biceps are rolling towards each other, but our shoulder blades are smoothing down the back away from each other. So we're feeling a broadening expansiveness across the shoulder blades. Then just imagine trying to bring your chest towards the ground and lifting up into the hip bones. Imagine tilting your tail and lifting your hips high. And then we want to engage the quads and imagine lengthening and extending down the backs of the legs. But it's more important here that we experience a straight spine rather than straight legs. So if it's comfortable for you just to have a little bend in the knees, then that's absolutely fine too. Stay here for 3 more nice big deep breaths. Breathing all the way up the front of the body and all the way down the back of the body for 1. Inhale, drawing energy in through the palms. Exhale. Imagine the energy coming out through the soles of the feet. 1 more nice big deep breath. And from here, we're going to take this into a pigeon pose. So you're going to float your right leg up and out behind you. And you're going to bring your right knee towards your right hand and your right foot towards your left hand. Trying to get your calf in one straight line, but it really doesn't matter if this isn't available to you, as they say. I'm trying to aim for squared hips here. If this feels really, really tight for anybody, then you're welcome to take it into thread the needle, which I'll quickly demonstrate just in case anybody is really struggling with pigeon. And this is an equally good stretch, but lying on your back, you're going to pick your right foot up and rest it on your left knee. And then picking your left leg up at a right angle, you're going to reach inside and grab the back of your left thigh, and that should stretch into your right glute. But just staying here for 5 nice big deep breaths. And if you're in thread the needle, make sure that you flex both of your feet, which helps to switch on the glutes. And if you're in pigeon, you might have your torso extended on the floor, or you might be up on your forearms. Really doesn't matter where you come to. What we're looking to experience is a nice, strong stretch into the right glute. and into the left hip flexor. Staying for 3 more nice big deep breaths. Sending the breath all the way into the hips, down the back of the left leg. Take one more nice long inhale. And when you're ready, gently walking your hands back towards you, lifting yourself back up. And if you can, take it back up into downward facing dog. And you can even give your right leg a little stretch up and out the back. Taking it into 3-legged dog, if that feels good. Bringing the right foot down, we'll come into the other side. So lifting the left leg up and out behind you, bringing the left knee towards the left hand and the left foot towards the right hand, squaring the hips here and then just lowering yourself down to wherever feels comfortable. And you might find that your left side is much tighter than your right, or it might be the other way. So if it feels better to be in thread the needle on this side, then that's absolutely fine too. And just bringing your awareness into the left glute and into the right hip flexor. Just seeing if there's a little bit more space that you can move into. With the help of the breath, creating that feeling of expansiveness, of massaging out any knots in the physical body and in the emotional body. We're going to stay here for 3 more nice big deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. Sending the breath all the way down into the right hip flexor. All the way down into the right toes. Staying for 1 more nice big deep breath. And when you're ready, just lifting yourself back out, coming into downward dog or 3-legged dog, giving your left leg a little shake up and out behind you. And coming back into downward dog. From here, you're just going to take little baby steps, walking your feet towards your hands. First coming into a forward bend, and then you're just going to lower your seat towards the ground, coming into a seated pose. From here, we're going to take this into Supta Baddha Konasana, so reclining butterfly pose. So for this one, so you have 2 options here. You can bring the soles of the feet together, and then you're just going to lie all the way down and allow your hips to open. So that is your first option. And the second option, if you're at home and you're near a wall and you'd like to take your legs up the wall and then spread them, then that's a really lovely groin opener, back of the hip opener too. But wherever you are, so you've either got your soles of the feet together with the knees coming open and just allowing the whole back body to relax on the ground, either taking the hands to the lungs or the lower abdomen, or if it feels comfortable, sometimes people take them underneath the back of the head, so you've got your arms mirroring your legs. And if you've got your legs up the wall, then just allowing them to fall out to wherever feels good for you. But just noticing the sensation of opening into the backs of the legs, the glutes, and into the front of the groins. Staying here for 5 more nice big deep breaths. Noticing the sensation of the lower back resting on the ground, the gentle hollowing of the middle back, the feeling of the backs of the ribs, the tops of the shoulders, and the back of the head. And when you're ready, we're just going to bring the soles of your feet back onto the ground and drawing the knees together. We're going to close the stretchy part of the yoga class with a little supine twist. So you have options here. Either you're going to hook your right leg over your left leg and then taking both of your knees at hip height over to the left side and then taking your gaze over your right shoulder. Ideally, you would have something under your knees so they're not completely floating in thin air. Or if that feels really strong, you can just keep your 2 knees together and take them over to the right side and the gaze over the right shoulder. Sorry, your right leg is coming over to the left side, your gaze is over the right shoulder. So it's a nice big twist. Sending the breath all the way down the right rib cage. This is twisting into our Manipura chakra, which is at our solar plexus. So if you want to envisage a dazzling yellow light roughly in place of the navel, then you're very welcome to do that. And they say with deep twists, it's all about rinsing the toxins out of the spine. So if anyone's spine was feeling toxic, then hopefully after this it will be feeling quite purified. Take 3 more nice big deep breaths. All the way down into the right side of the body. And on your next inhale, you're going to bring your legs back to the center. And we'll go over to the other side. So either keeping the knees together or threading the left leg over the right, taking the knees over to the right side and the gaze over your left shoulder. But trying to make sure that your knees are at hip height, if you can. Whatever's going to allow you to experience a nice deep twist. Trying to encourage your left shoulder onto the ground if you can. Sending the breath all the way down in between the left ribs. Taking 3 more nice big deep breaths here. And when you're ready, just bringing the knees back into the center And we're going to take this into our yoga nidra. So I would recommend putting a blanket down underneath you, if you can, taking one last look and making sure that no cats or dogs can get into the room who might come and lick your face during the practice. Also worth mentioning, if your phone is in the room or is likely to make a noise, better to switch that off too. Okay, this. Yeah. So just a couple more minutes of faff. And if I were you, I would switch off your playlist now as well. Maybe grabbing a pair of socks, taking a little sip of water if you need. Your head. So just making yourself comfortable, ready for yoga nidra. These phones in the room, is it? No. No? Okay, so beginning our yoga nidra. So first we're going to take a little tense and relax of everything. So on an inhale, you're going to tense your feet, tense your toes, tense your calves, tense your thighs, tense your buttocks, tense your stomach, tense in between the ribs, tense your hands, tense your shoulders, tense your jaw, screw up your face, tense your scalp. Take a nice big inhale and give everything a last squeeze and relax. Bringing our awareness into the physical body. Let's just do one more of those. So inhale, squeeze your toes, your feet, your calves, your shins, your knees, your thighs, your buttocks, your stomach, your hands, your arms, your face, your chest, your jaw, squeeze and relax. Let's take a nice big sigh with a bit of a groan if you can. All together, take a nice big inhale. What a relief. So taking the awareness first into the physical body, feeling our whole physical form lying on the ground. And now taking our awareness into the sounds we can hear nearby. Maybe there's some birds singing, might be a bit of traffic, without getting caught up, see which sounds you can hear nearby, and then taking your awareness as wide as you can, see which sounds you can hear far away. Going as wide as you can. And now coming back into the experience of the body and feeling the weight of the body supported by the ground. And now we're going to go further inwards. And we'll start with a body scan. And with each part of the body we scan over, imagine that part of you becoming completely relaxed. We're going to start with the palm of the right hand. We're going to go right palm, right thumb, index finger, third finger, ring finger, little finger. Your right hand is relaxed. Right wrist, right forearm, right elbow, right bicep, right shoulder, then traveling down the front of the body, right collarbone, right pec, right rib cage, down into the right stomach, right hip bone, right thigh, right knee, right shin, right ankle, down the front of the right foot, into the right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. The whole right side of the body is relaxed. And coming into the left side of the body, starting with the left hand, left thumb, left index finger, left third finger, left ring finger, left little finger. The left hand is relaxed. Then traveling into the left wrist, left forearm, left elbow, left bicep, left shoulder, coming down the left side of the body into the left collarbone, left pec, down into the left ribs, left side of the stomach, left hip, down the front of the left thigh, into the left knee, down the front of the left shin, into the left ankle, down the front of the left foot, into the left big toe, left second toe, left third toe, left fourth toe, left baby toe. The whole left side of the body is completely relaxed. Now traveling up the back of the body, starting in the soles of the feet, traveling up the back of the calves, into the back of the knees, into the back of the thighs, into the buttocks, into the lower back, into the middle back, into the backs of the rib cage, coming across the tops of the shoulders, into the back of the neck, up and over the top of the head, smoothing across the forehead, into the eyebrows, into the eyelids, into the nostrils, into the lips, into the jaw, and all the way down into the body. And you can feel your whole body completely relaxed, fully supported by the ground. Relaxing any effort because the ground is supporting you. And without changing it, we're going to take our awareness into the breath, breathing the body, but bringing our awareness into the heart center, into our heart chakra, the seat of our compassion. And you can visualize this as a green light, right in the middle of the chest. And just imagine breathing in and out of your heart chakra. Sinking into the feeling at the heart center. Staying with the visualization of the green light, if that helps you. But keeping the awareness into the heart center. And we're going to sink a little bit deeper with your awareness at the heart center. Call to mind a memory that makes you happy. It could be a time when you found something funny. But picture the scene. Take a few moments to settle on something that makes you smile inwardly. It doesn't matter really which memory, but just an occasion that makes you feel warm, that makes your heart do a little smile. See if you can imagine who was there with you. Maybe you were on your own. Maybe you were with somebody else. What can you see? What can you hear? What can you smell? And with every breath that you take, see if you can sink into that feeling of happiness a little bit more deeply. And if there were people with you in that memory, imagine expanding that feeling of happiness out to those people, as though you're sharing this feeling of happiness right now with them as well. Sending a little of that happy glow all the way out and into those people. And if in your memory you were on your own, just imagine sending some of that happiness out to the first person who springs to mind. But sharing some of that warmth, some of that happiness with somebody else. And then imagine expanding that happiness out even further. Expanding it out to the people in the room with you now, the people in your house, on your street. Expanding it out as wide as you can. And now, coming back to that feeling at the heart center, we're going to start to come back into our bodies. So first, feeling into the sensation at the chest and at the heart center. And then bringing some awareness into the back of the ribs, the back of the heart center, lying on the ground. And getting a feeling of the whole body supported. Sending the awareness all the way from the crown of the head down the back of the neck, the backs of the shoulders, the backs of the arms, the backs of the ribs, down and into the buttocks, the backs of the legs, into the backs of the calves, and down into the feet. Feeling all parts of you supported by the ground. And now taking your awareness back into the sounds that you can hear. Sounds that you can hear nearby. And sounds that you can hear far away. So traveling into our sense of hearing and just becoming aware of where we are lying on the ground in relation to those sounds that you can hear nearby and the sounds that you can hear far away. And when you're ready, we're going to start coming fully back into our body. So taking a nice long inhale and a nice long exhale. And just bringing a little bit of movement into the fingers and into the toes. And taking a nice big stretch with the arms overhead. And stretching down into the toes. And some of you might be feeling like you might be waking up from a very deep sleep. And that's absolutely all right, because yoga nidra is kind of a state of sleep. So if you did go to sleep, then that's absolutely fine. That probably meant that you needed it. I think some of my attendees in the room might have gone to sleep then. And when you're ready, rolling over onto the right side and just allowing yourself to rest here for a moment. And when you're ready, gently pushing yourself back up into a seated position where we began. And keeping the eyes closed just for a minute, we'll close the practice off together. So firstly, noticing how you feel in your physical body. Notice how you feel in your energy levels. Notice how you feel in your emotional states. Notice how you feel in your mind. And searching for any feelings of peace or bliss we may have cultivated throughout the practice. And just sending a little thank you inwards to yourself for showing up at your mat and for practicing some yoga, smoothing out the creases in our own bodies and our own minds, as this helps us to be more present for the other people around us who may need a little lift. But it does start with showing yourself some compassion. So sending yourself a thank you for doing that. And just gathering yourself up. You've been in a very deep state of relaxation, and it can take a little while to come back to the room. But we'll close by chanting 3 Oms together, and feel free to join in. If you don't fancy it, then no pressure, but it does feel quite good to close with some Oms. So take a nice big inhale. Palms together at the heart center. Love to all. Palms to the lips. Peace to all. Palms to the third eye. Light to all. May you always be blessed. Namaste. Last couple of bits of housekeeping. I'll put my Monzo link in the channel. If you're not earning at the moment, then don't worry about donating if you're not earning much. But everybody else, if you are earning and actually aren't spending very much because you're locked in your house, I'll be donating half the profits to St. Mungo's homeless charity. I'll be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. doing Jiva Mukti, which is a nice flowy vinyasa class. And I'll also be doing some pranayama and meditation in the mornings this week. Another Jiva Mukti on Thursday. I will post my schedule in the YouTube channel. Please do like and subscribe if you like the classes, and feel free to share the links to the classes with any of your friends who you think might like it. Yeah, stay in touch. Let me know any feedback. If you like this and you want more of it, do let me know. Always good to hear from you. Have wonderful evenings. Be gentle with yourselves and take care. Thanks. Bye.